Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be doing 4 different sunscreen reviews. 2 of these sunscreens were provided for a review. I picked them up, or I chose to take these products because I love doing a sunscreen review. There are so many different types of sunscreens that work in different ways on different skin types, so I just find them really interesting, and I wear sunscreen every single day. Does not matter what is happening, every single day. The other 2 sunscreens I picked up because they were cheap, and I bought, I think, 6 different sunscreens in total, so there'll be another set of 4 reviews later, hopefully in autumn. So it's springtime at the moment in New Zealand. This is my second time filming this because I filmed and edited it, and then my MacBook iCloud deleted all of the footage, of which I didn't even know that that was possible. Yeah, they all got deleted, so this is my second round doing everything. So each of these products are going to be broken down into their own little mini application and reviews. I haven't shown you any footage of the actual product packaging because, I don't know, it's just a bottle, and the sunscreens on the back of the hand, I don't know, like it's just white liquid, so we're not doing that. So here are all 4 of the sunscreens in different applications on different days. Good morning, we are going to be using the MISSHA Sun Essence. All Around Safe Block Essence Sun. This one has SPF 45 and PA+++. And I'd say I'm about 2/3 of the way through the bottle so far. So I'm going to be using a bit more than this. I don't usually measure it out on my finger. I usually just kind of like squirt a bunch into the palm of my hand. Yeah, that's not going to be nearly enough, but that's okay. We'll come back in with the second lot. But the Sun Essence itself is quite scented. I don't know, I feel like it smells very nostalgic, but it doesn't smell like a traditional sunscreen does. It is white when it comes out, like you saw on the finger, but then it, yeah, immediately is pretty clear. That was most definitely not enough. We're just going to like that much more. So twice the amount that I used just then. And you can kind of see the sunscreen this way. It is the middle of winter, so my skin is a little bit more dry. I was worried that this one was going to make my skin feel more dry because some of the MISSHA sunscreens do that. But it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. And I find that what happens normally is I get like halfway through the bottle and then the sunscreen like changes. Mostly because I probably don't mix them well enough. A lot of them are more liquidy. But this one, it seems the same. So I'm quite happy with that. Generally, it works really well underneath the makeup products that I've been using it with, and I haven't noticed any like extra pilling. It doesn't make my skin look or feel more dry. I say like the biggest downside of this one is that it's really scented, like very heavily. I just can't figure out what it smells like. I like it, but because it's such heavy scent, it may not be for everybody. But overall, I've been enjoying this one, and I think it was pretty cheap, so I'd probably purchase this one again. This one is 50 milliliters. Okay, so today we're going to be using the Access Y Complete No Stress Physical Sunscreen. And this one is a physical sunscreen, which makes it a little different from the other 3. I'm not sure why I always do this finger thing because it always makes it a little bit difficult, but I think that generally one finger is enough for one side of my face. And then you'd need the second finger for the other side and then the third for like neck, I think. So this one has a pretty substantial white cast. It comes out like a thick white cream. It's quite, I think it's quite easy to spread. I'm not super bothered by how it spreads on the skin, but it has the strongest white cast I've personally ever had in a sunscreen. And it's one of the reasons that I don't do physical sunscreens so much because I always struggle with the white cast. This one is so strong that my fiance can even see it underneath foundation, which is crazy. So we're gonna rub it in as best as possible. Obviously this is not a sunscreen I'd recommend for deeper skin tones, but it is very moisturizing, which is going to be quite good because I've got some really bad skin irritation at the moment. That's how white it is. But it smells really nice. It has that really nice classic sunscreen sort of scent, which is great. Like I said, it spreads out fine, but getting it to kind of like blend in evenly is a bit difficult. As a bonus, you can definitely see where you've been, so you're not going to miss any spots. And you can see how much product is everywhere. So I think that definitely helps with an even application. If you let it sit, the white cast will dull down a bit, but you'll still have quite a bright, sorry, I cannot not have a giggle about it. It's just so bright. This one was extremely cheap. I feel like it was maybe like $3 or $4. So that is one good thing. Trying not to get it too far into my hair because I'll be wearing my hair down today. So I will get a little bit of sun protection that way. I'm trying to get as much of it out of my eyebrows as possible. And yeah, evening up the coverage. I would normally also go wash my hands because it's quite tough to move around. So I would say for this one particularly, I'm personally going to be using it up during the winter next year because in New Zealand it's now spring. So happy. But it's very moisturizing. I feel like it works fine underneath a foundation, but yeah, it's obviously not one that I would wear by itself. So yeah. Okay, today's sunscreen is from SCINIC. This is the UV Expert Repair Sun Essence. It comes in this really cute little bottle, and it's kind of impractical because it's basically shaped like a rock, and it doesn't stand up, it just has to kind of lie flat, which is mildly problematic. Ooh, the outside is really like goopy, which is mildly problematic if you're like me and you don't have too much room in your bathroom. So the product is very thin and liquidy. It comes out kind of like, so like white with maybe like a little bit of a yellow tint. And the bottle is pretty easy to squeeze. It's kind of like a flexible one. And I always put the cap on before I set it down, but I think it might have been kind of like leaking into the cap. That's why it was all like gooey. For me, I cannot see it at all on my skin. I may as well just be wiping a toner on. So for me, it is completely translucent. However, for someone who has deeper skin, this may be different. It's super easy to apply. It's a bit like using like a milky lotion. I do get slightly worried that I've not applied it correctly, so I kind of go around and touch my face to make sure it all feels like it has product, because I miss places like around the inside of the eyes. It also dries down really quickly, so I would say that this one you can apply makeup and everything over the top of it pretty quick. It does feel moisturizing and it doesn't look like anything. I would say that my skin looks maybe a little bit more moisturized, but in general I can't really see anything. And after it's dried down, after a few seconds, it just feels like well moisturized skin. There is a scent, but it's really faint. It doesn't smell like roses or anything like that. So I really enjoy using this one. I feel like it's the best one out of the four for if you are wearing no makeup. So for me, I like to look moisturized but not shiny. So I like the finish of this one for that particularly. It works well under makeup too. Good morning. Today we're going to be using the Purito sunscreen. This is the Daily Soft Touch Sunscreen Cream Style. And I was really excited to try this one because I had a mini of the old formula of the Daily sunscreen. And I really liked it, but it really stung my eyes, like really badly. And I do have really sensitive eyes. So I was really hoping that reformulation did not do that, and so far so good. It is quite a thick white cream. So definitely not like a gel, it's definitely a cream. And it definitely does have a little bit of a white cast, but it's not severe. And it has a bit more of a dewy finish, so there's a lot more luminosity, but it's pretty easy to apply. So here's the difference. This is no sunscreen. There's a little brightness and a lot of shine. I feel like the white cast for this one is not terrible at all. I wouldn't notice it underneath makeup, so I'm not bothered by it. And I think that this one works really well underneath makeup because it has that really luminous shine. If you're wanting a really luminous shine underneath makeup, this is one that I really enjoy. It's quite moisturizing as well. The only downside for this one, I would say personally, is that for me, I wouldn't wear it without makeup because I feel like it is a little bit too shiny for me when I finished applying it. So that's how we're looking. Yeah, it's just a little bit too much of a shine. This is after like a few minutes, but it's still quite tacky. Like the It feels moisturized, but like in a bit of a sticky way. But yeah, I think that if you're looking for a really dewy sunscreen, or a dewy sunscreen that works well underneath makeup with a very low white cast, I think this one is quite good. I feel like the white cast is almost, like on this side, is pretty much disappeared by now. So I do enjoy using this one, but primarily I use it underneath makeup rather than as a day-to-day sunscreen. So all in all for the sunscreens, I definitely have one that I would not purchase, and then ones that I probably would repurchase. So we'll go with one that I wouldn't repurchase first, which is the Access Y physical sunscreen. The only reason that I wouldn't repurchase this one is because the white cast is so intense. I have it on today. I did the application for this one today because it was also one of the files that got deleted. So did it again. And then I'm wearing my regular makeup over top. So this is the Laura Mercier foundation. And then I have a lot of bronzer on today so that my face doesn't look 5 times whiter than the rest of my body. I still think on camera it comes across as a little bright. So this one, I wouldn't buy it again. I would use the rest of it through the winter next year because it is quite moisturizing. So definitely not one for me during the summer, even with makeup on. The other one that I may not purchase again, solely based on the price, is the SCINIC. I have a feeling, where's my phone? I have a feeling that it's really expensive because it's, I don't know, it just feels expensive. So let's look it up. It says it's $30 on YesStyle. Is it 30 New Zealand dollars? Okay, I would probably repurchase this one again because $30 is not terrible. It is 50 mils. Ooh. It ships in 21 days, so maybe not because of the shipping time. But I really enjoyed this product. The only other limiting factor is the packaging. It's a really pleasant, like pebble shape and feel. But because of how it's packaged, it can only be set lying down, and that requires a bit more counter space than I have. I really enjoyed the application and the feel of this on my skin. However, the packaging does kind of get me a bit. The MISSHA sunscreen I would definitely buy again. This one was really inexpensive and is really pleasant on the skin. It didn't do the thing that the normal MISSHA sunscreens do from when I remember them back in my youth, where they would start off really good and then at the end, the last like month of application would just be terrible. This one is almost out. I'm so lucky that the actual footage, I'd filmed this one like ages ago because I've been using each of the sunscreens for like a month each before actually talking about them. And so this footage was so old and it was quite short that that one did get backed up to iCloud. So I have the original footage of this one, which is really good. I'm grateful for that. And yeah, it's almost out. I think I've got like one more application, if I'm lucky, maybe 2 left. But I would definitely buy this one again. It was really inexpensive and I really enjoyed it. And then the lucky last is the Purito one. I was so excited to try this because I really enjoyed the other Purito one that I had. And I feel like this one is also maybe a little expensive. So we're going to look that up now as well. It's on a flash sale, but the regular price is $31.77. And it's 60 ml, so it's a little bit bigger than the SCINIC for the same price. So I really enjoyed using this one as well. Based on the price, it probably wouldn't be like the SCINIC. It's a little more expensive, but it's not terrible. Probably wouldn't be my first choice, but if it was on a really good sale, I would definitely buy it again. There is a little bit of a white cast, and this one is a lot more shiny looking. So I tend to like a more of a like dewy matte finish. So it's not one that I'd wear too much without makeup over the top. I probably choose the SCINIC one because that one is easy for me to wear without makeup, so on makeup-free days. But I still really enjoyed using it, and I think it makes my skin look really beautiful and it works really well under makeup, which is a big bonus. So those are all of the sunscreens that I have. I have 4 more to do, and probably by the time that I get them done, it will be autumn so that I have time to try them for long enough and make sure that they don't do that thing where it's like a pet hate of mine. You try it for the first like few weeks and it's really, really, really good, but then the formula starts to change, and it's probably my own fault for not shaking them well enough. And the last half of the product is really bad because the formulation has changed. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!